Welcome back. Now it's time to reveal another list. This is going to be a redo of my top 5 most hated celebrities. Why am I doing a redo of it? Because I decided to take off 2 people from my previous list and replace it with somebody else. I took Orlando Brown off my list because he is actually getting better ever since he was bailed out of jail 2 years ago. I'm glad that he's actually getting his shit together. And I took Mystical off my list because he could be a dishonorable mention. He's not as bad as Robert Kelly or Diddy, but he is a sick bastard. No wonder he was absent during that versus battle between Cash Money and No Limit, because he's still in jail. And he's still going through his trial. But if he's convicted, he may spend the rest of his life in jail. Sucks that C Murder was absent from that versus battle between No Limit and Cash Money, because he's still in jail. Now I got that out the way of why am I doing a redo of this list, let's get right into this list. Okay, here we go. My number 5 is still Marion Suge Knight. Y'all should know who Marion Suge Knight is. He was one of the co-founders of Death Row Records along with Dr. Dre, the late Dick Griffey, and the DOC. Death Row became one of the most powerful record labels of the 90s, and it was a rival against Bad Boy. I still believe Death Row was the better label because the label sold more records and had more platinum albums than Bad Boy. And their roster of artists was stacked back in the 90s in Death Row. You had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Nate Dogg, Miss Chalet, Jewel, The Dog Pound, Lady of Rage, Danny Boy, and the list goes on. The label started to go downhill around the mid-90s when Tupac was killed, Suge went to jail, Snoop, Dre, and the Dog Pound left the label. But you all know I cannot stand this nigga Suge Knight. Let me know in the comments, is he one of the reasons why Tupac got killed? I'm not sure who is worse, Diddy or Suge Knight. I say it's a toss-up between these two. Even growing up listening to Death Row back in the 90s, I was never a Suge Knight fan. Never liked this nigga. Where is he now? He's currently serving 28 years in jail for a hit and run incident from 2015. Suge Knight is 60 years old, fam. He's 60. He's been in jail since he was 50 in 2015. Now, 10 years later, he's 60. So, I got nothing else to say about this nigga Suge. And he's an Aries, by the way. So enjoy the rest of your prison sentence, Suge. And I heard that he has a podcast too. Let me know in the comments if that's true, that he has his own podcast. But fuck Suge Knight. Never liked this nigga. That's all I gotta say about him. My number 4 is still Kanye. I'm not going to say too much about Kanye because I've already did a short rant on him in one of my sporting recaps from 2022 requested by my guy Derek S. I can see why Derek S wanted me to rant about Kanye because he really has been himself lately. 7 reasons why I can't stand Ye, and then I'll move on to number 3. 1, his music isn't as good as it used to be. His first 3 albums were good. College Dropout, Late Registration, and people be sleeping on the Graduation album. It sold more records than 50 Cent's Curtis during that whole 50 versus Kanye thing from 9/11/2007. He sold out during his 4th album using auto-tune and singing on that 808 and Heartbreak album. His 5th album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, is one of the most It's the most overrated hip hop album of all time and the second most overrated album overall. 2, him dissing Taylor Swift at the 2009 VMAs. Even though y'all know I don't like Taylor Swift like that because she's overrated as hell too. But she didn't deserve to get dissed by Kanye like that at the VMAs, despite that I don't like Taylor Swift. She was on stage giving her speech when she won her award, and then Ye comes out of nowhere, cool haircut, took the mic from Taylor and said, "Yo, Taylor, I'm very happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." Y'all know he was drunk when he said that night. Y'all know he was drunk when he said that. Imagine if he did that at Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey's wedding saying, "Yo, Nick, I'm very happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Jay and Beyonce had one of the best weddings of all time." Three, he's hypocritical, making a song called Gold Digger, then later on he ended up marrying a gold digger. 4, his interview with Sway in 2013, snapping at Sway when Sway didn't do nothing to him. And then saying, "How, Sway? You don't have the answer, Sway." Fast forward to 2023, he said that Sway actually did have the answers. 5, his Yeezus shoes are ugly as hell. 6, he takes himself way too seriously. And 7, he revealed that he actually sucked his cousin's cock when he was 14 and his cousin was 6. I'm sorry, I had to pause the video for a minute, but I was so done with this nigga when he said that he sucked his own cousin's dick when he was younger. Mace, you better get your boy Kanye, because he acting ridiculous saying that he sucked his own cousin's dick when he was 14 and his cousin was 6. Yeah, you know Cam on an episode of It Is What It Is called Kanye Mace's son. He said, "What's up with your son, Murder?" And Mace did say he gonna have a talk with Kanye. And he said the part where he said, "I suck my own cousin's dick," he said, "That part is not my son." Yeah, Mace, you better get your boy Ye. You better have a talk with him because he needs help. If Kanye's music is on your playlist, take him off your playlist. And any albums of his that's reaching a milestone next year, I'm not celebrating either one of them, and neither is Benny G 94. I didn't celebrate neither of his albums that reached a milestone this year, and I'm not doing it this next year. He may be a Gemini, but I no longer fuck with Geminis like him, Chris Benoit, and the next Gemini I'm about to talk about. Number 3, replacing Orlando Brown. Brian McKnight, Brian Bitch McKnight, Brian McNugget. First thing I want to ask is, Brian McKnight, are you okay? I'll answer that question for you. No, you're not. Many R&B artists from the 90s, you know, just like Joe, Brian McKnight, Donnell Jones, Case, Genuine, and many other great R&B artists of the 90s, Brian McKnight was out of this world. And even in the 2000s, he was out of this world. I'm not a Brian McKnight fan, but he was one of my favorite singers. Anytime, Back in One, and Used to Be My Girl are my 3 favorite songs by him. But why I no longer listen to those 3 songs? Because he had restrained himself from his own biological children, replacing it with his stepkids from his current wife, Leilani. We all know his first wife was Julie McKnight, who he married from 1990 to 2003. And they had 2 sons together, Brian McKnight Jr. and the late Nico. Then he had another child by another woman named Brianna. Then I heard he had another child by another woman. Brian McKnight is without a doubt the worst father, or one of the worst fathers and one of the worst husbands. He decided to disown his own biological children despite that they're grown adults. And he didn't even give a damn that his own son Nico died from cancer back in May. You decide to celebrate your own son Jack, your stepson Jack graduated from whatever, instead of being there for Nico during the last few days of his life battling cancer. And then he had the nerve to call his brother Claude McKnight's announcement about Nico's passing tasteless. And this nigga had the nerve to post a video claiming that he won an $8.8 million lawsuit against his ex-wife Julie. And he posted that on what would have been Nico's 33rd birthday on October 16th. I'm so done with this nigga Brian McKnight. Just like Kanye, any of his albums that's reaching a milestone next year, I'm not celebrating either one of them. And any of his albums from 2001 or 2006 are disqualified for being on my list of my top 20 albums from the year 2001 and 2006 for next year. And now they got this nigga performing here in my hometown for a holiday event on Saturday, December 6th. Who booked this nigga to come perform here on Saturday, December 6th? We don't want him performing here in this city. Just like we didn't want him performing last month at the Texas State Fair. If you're going to this event here in Houston that Brian McKnight's going to be attending at, going to be performing at on Saturday, December 6th, make sure y'all bring tomatoes, holiday cookies, or whatever. Throw it at him and boo his ass off the stage. And another thing, one more thing about Brian McKnight that might make you laugh, that has already made me laugh. You want to know what he did that makes me laugh? He blocked me on Instagram. I'm not mad at that. I can't help myself but to laugh at this nigga. Because I was getting on his ass for disowning his own kids and not being there for Nico during the last few days of his life battling cancer. That's why he blocked me. And I bet he blocked everybody else because of the same thing. Getting on his ass for disowning his own biological children. I'm so done with this nigga, bro. Brian McKnight's music is banned from being played on my live streams, on Twitch, and my Instagram stories. And thank God I don't have any of his albums. Because like I said, any of them that's reaching a milestone next year, I ain't celebrating neither one of them. If you guys still listen to his music, then that's fine. I'm not mad. But people like myself and Benny G94 are done with this nigga. So if he's scheduled to perform at your city, make sure you bring tomatoes or mud, throw it at him, and boo his ass off the stage. Fuck you, Brian McNugget. And that's all I gotta say about him. Number 2, replacing Mystikal. Sean Combs. Sean John Combs. But you all know this nigga as Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Love, the Shiny Suit Man. Or from now on, just call him Baby Oil. Sean Baby Oil Combs. Since he had a bunch of lubricant and baby oil for his freak-offs, like 1,000 bottles altogether. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I'm not going to say too much about Diddy because I've already talked about him in my top 15 worst rappers video. He's a snake. He stole money from all his artists that was in Bad Boy. He's definitely one of the most overrated rappers, even though he never wrote his own lyrics. He's a disgrace. He may be a good father, but he's a disgrace when it comes to women. Before all the allegations came out, like I said, I used to like Diddy as a person, but I feel like he's he took the entertainment business way too seriously, and it's all about the money. All this time we thought Diddy was a good person until these allegations came out. And when these allegations came out, we all took his music off our playlists. I deleted my Instagram posts of Diddy celebrating the anniversary of his albums. Any of his albums is reaching a milestone next year, I'm not celebrating either one of them either. If I go back and listen to It's All About the Benjamins, even though I don't listen to his music anymore, I may just skip to Biggie's verse, or at least skip to Jada's verse. Because Jada, I believe, rapped after Diddy. Jada actually wrote that song, It's All About the Benjamins. Mase wrote the whole remix of Been Around the World by himself. Diddy is currently serving 50 months in jail, or 4 years, for all the allegations that he was facing. It hasn't even been 2-3 years since he's been in jail, and this nigga already breaking jail rules. He got caught drinking, claiming that this is the first time he's been sober throughout his entire life. And he got caught with a Nintendo DS under his pillow. I'm like, where the hell did this nigga get a Nintendo DS from? One of his kids? Why would a 56-year-old man like him carry a Nintendo DS under his prison pillow? And because of him breaking these prison rules, his release date has been pushed back from May 8th to June 8th, 2028. That's the day Black Rob would have been turning 60, and 9 days before I turned 37. To all you Diddy victims, you all deserve justice. And as for you Diddy fans, y'all can get mad saying he didn't do anything wrong. But what about that video of him beating the hell out of Cassie at that hotel 9 years ago? How does that prove he didn't do anything wrong? Yeah, Baby Oil, you're done, bro. You're done. Just because you rich and all that doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want to do in prison. They have rules in prison, and you can't break them, because if you break them, your release date might get pushed back. And that's exactly what happened to him. They probably gonna let him out in like 2027 or 2028 before his 4-year sentence is up. They should have sentenced this nigga to more years, like 10. But they gave him 4 years. He's been locked up since my dad's birthday last year. It's been 1 year since he's been in jail. Now he got 4 more years to go. So screw Diddy. I'm glad that he's locked up, and I can't stop laughing. And I'm sure you all know who is still my #1 most hated celebrity. #1, none other than Robert Sylvester Kelly. Back in the 90s, Robert Kelly was out of this world with his music. It all started when he was part of this group called Public Announcement, and then he left the group to begin his solo career. And there's nothing more I can say about this dude. He was a great songwriter, singer, and producer, but in reality, we all know this nigga is a pedophile behind closed doors. It all started when he married Aaliyah. Yeah, her name is pronounced Aaliyah, not Aaliyah, people. Aaliyah, like Muhammad Ali. Aaliyah was 15 and Robert Kelly was 27, in his late 20s going on 30. Aaliyah lied in the marriage license claiming that she was 18 when they got married in 94, and thank God that the marriage was annulled when her parents found out. Then in the early 2000s, he got caught in that sex tape urinating on his own protege's niece, Sparkle. No surprise, he was able to get away with that shit, and that's when he should have gotten some help and get his life together, but no, he wanted to keep messing with them young girls. It is what it is. I did not know who this nigga was until my dad bought his third album, R, which in my opinion is his best album. And that was my favorite album of his, R. His third album, in my opinion, that's his best album. That's when I started becoming a fan. Not only we had the CD of the R album, we had the cassette tape. And I would listen to it every day coming home from school. I was a fan of this nigga between age 7 to age 18. I should have stopped being a fan of him when that sex tape came out in 2002. When that docuseries Surviving R. Kelly came out, everybody that worked with this nigga that he wrote and produced songs for or collaborated with, they regret working with him and removed their collaboration songs with him from streaming services. People like Chris Brown, Nick Cannon, Joe, Ludacris, Snoop, Bow Wow, Lady Gaga, Ciara, Celine Dion, Chance the Rapper, Justin Bieber, Jennifer Hudson, just to name a few. They're one of those artists that regret working with this nigga and remove their collaboration songs with him from streaming services, and I don't blame them one bit. He was on that interview with Gayle King, pounding his chest, act like he about to cry, saying, "I'm fighting for my fucking life. Y'all killing me with this shit. I gave y'all 30 years of my fucking career. Y'all trying to kill me. You're killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it." Months later, Malik Yoba kind of did the same thing. He stormed out during his interview when his interviewer was asking him about the allegations against him. And he said, "The fuck is wrong with you? This is my fucking life." I actually did a reaction of Robert Kelly versus Malik Yoba. Robert Kelly said, "I'm fighting for my fucking life." Malik Yoba said, "This is my fucking life." Who y'all think was better, Robert Kelly or Malik Yoba? I say it's a tie between these two. They definitely need a rematch. That video was so funny when I did a reaction to it 3 years ago. Robert Kelly was convicted in 2021. Then he was sentenced to 30 years in 2022. And the era of Robert Kelly is over. To all you Robert Kelly victims, you all deserve justice. And to you Robert Kelly fans, y'all can get mad saying he's innocent, saying he didn't do anything wrong. How would you like if he did that shit to your underage daughter? How would you feel? Would you still listen to his music and saying he's the greatest? No, you wouldn't. Billboard, you had no business putting this nigga in your top 75 singers list. If you haven't seen Billboard's top 75 singers list, they had the nerve to put this nigga Robert Kelly on that list. They put him in number 9, I believe. He also tried to sabotage Joe's career, and they were both signed to Jive Records at the time. And Joe is a trillion times better singer than Robert Kelly has ever been in his fucking life. My dad is the reason why I got into Joe's music and why I became a fan. Why is this man so underrated? Why he still don't get the recognition he deserves? I don't give a damn what nobody say. Joe is my favorite R&B singer. Him, Case, Donnell Jones, Jennifer Hudson, and Aaliyah, they're on my list of my most underrated R&B singers. They're all in my top 5. This man is the most overrated R&B singer of all time. He's much better as a songwriter and a producer, to tell you the truth. Just like Kanye is better as a producer than a rapper. Any Robert Kelly albums that's reaching a milestone this year or that's reaching a milestone next year, I ain't celebrating neither one of his albums that's reaching a milestone. I did once, and I never did it again. 2018, I celebrated 25 years of 12 Play, even though that album is overrated, and 20 years of R. But when that docuseries Surviving R. Kelly came out, I deleted those Instagram posts immediately. And this nigga crying in jail like a bitch, claiming that the feds were trying to kill him. This nigga deserves to die. The man is 58 years old. He should be playing golf right now instead of making music. And he needs to die. And when he does die, we're definitely going to celebrate. And I don't care what you Robert Kelly fans have to say. I don't care. La 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 la. I'm not hearing y'all. We're not hearing y'all. We don't care. When this nigga dies, we're definitely gonna celebrate. Whether you Robert Kelly fans like it or not. And just like Mike Henry said, ain't no more McDonald's for him. No more getting them Happy Meals at McDonald's. Or just like he told Gayle King in an interview, no more Big Macs, no more fries, no more Coke. Your days at McDonald's are banned, my guy. You are totally finished. Fuck Robert Kelly and fuck his dumbass fans that thinks that he's innocent. Dishonorable mentions goes to Mystical, Tory Lanez, Danny Masterson, Tammy Cinch, aka WWE Hall of Famer Sonny, SPM, Jared Fogle, Karl Malone, Dan Schneider, Brian Peck, Mark Salling, who's known for playing Puck on Glee, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, Linda McMahon, Kid Rock, and Hulk Hogan. That wraps up my redo of my top 5 most hated celebrities. The next list I will reveal, shout out to anybody that was born in 1989. This next list I will reveal is going to be for you. My top 10 TV shows from the year 1989. I'm not going to do a top 20 because I wasn't born in 1989, so I wouldn't know which shows premiered that year. I know a few shows that premiered in 1989, like Cops, America's Most Wanted, The Simpsons, Family Matters, Hey Dude, and Seinfeld. But you will find out which shows from 1989 is in my top 10 once we reveal it. I got my top 15 Fox cartoons list coming up, as well as my top 11 Cartoon Network shows from the 90s. Just stay tuned. More lists is coming before the end of this year. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for my next list I will reveal. I will catch you tomorrow showing y'all highlights of the 2000 Survivor Series pay-per-view. Until then, these top 5 most hated celebrities played a stupid game and won a stupid prize. No more talk.